Well, thank you so much, Dean, for that very kind introduction. I feel very much at home here at HEC. I was very honored 3 years ago to be made a member of this community. And we have indeed a very warm relationship, and I'm very proud that HEC was willing to be the partner in France for the Global Competitiveness Report, which I have been leading for the last few years. We actually have our data. We're doing our models. I was working on the rankings yesterday, and you'll be the first to know what the rankings are for France, but we haven't yet completely finished all the modeling. But it's been a very good process this year, and I'm really proud that we have this partnership. So I think this is a very important moment to rethink really many of the assumptions that have been used over the last 10 or 15 years in thinking about strategy. And what I'd like to do today is at least give you a little bit of the thinking that I believe we need to use to kind of move to the next level. Some of it is new, but I'm finding to a surprising degree much of what we need to know is things that we forgot. It's not new things, it's old things that we forgot in this last decade as we got very intrigued with new technology, with the rapid pace of change, with globalization, with outsourcing, with networks, with all kinds of concepts that seem to offer kind of a new way of competing, but actually when we actually looked at what's happened, I think it seems less of a new way and more of an old way. All these models have some truth. But we've had a tremendous tendency in management thinking to take a trend or a single phenomena or a single issue and blow it up into a whole model of how to compete. Now, these models come from a whole variety of places. And I don't have time this morning to cover all of them. Let me just highlight a few points. As I talked about those models, what you saw over and over again was the taking a trend and extrapolating it like it would take over. So the trend is it changes a little faster. So the idea is, well, if change is a little faster, then fast change must be the answer. Or outsourcing is a little higher because of better communications technology, better logistics, IT. Therefore, we should go to full network competition. Or economies of scale are important, so we should always try to dominate the market. There's been a tremendous tendency in management to take a trend and extrapolate it and make it into a theory of competition. And that's almost always futile. I mean, one of the things you learn in economics on the first day is that you optimize, you don't maximize. Just because something is changing doesn't mean you go to the extreme. You find the balance between benefits and cost. Another problem we've had in the strategy field is we've had a tendency to search for the single answer. There's been a hunger for a way of competing, a formula that allows companies to win. So each of these, each on this previous slide, each of these is a formula. All you have to do is be the biggest, you can win. All you have to do is be best cost and quality, you can win. All you have to do is change faster, you can win. All you have to do is find that resource, you can win. And so on. Instead of seeing that the essence of competition and the essence of strategy is about managing the, if you will, the complexity across many, many dimensions of competition, which are the essence actually of competition itself. Another thing I think we've fallen into is the tendency to use false analogies. The worst analogy for business competition that I can think of that's caused more bad ideas is the analogy to military warfare. You know, there's all these books about ancient Chinese generals who talk about ancient Chinese military tactics. And the idea is, well, let's apply these to business. What's wrong with the military analogy? The military analogy is that when you're in the military and you're in your warfare, for you to win, you have to destroy the competitor. There's only one winner. That's not the way business competition is. You don't have to destroy the competitor. You don't have to dominate the market. Indeed, if you try to destroy your competitor, you'll probably destroy yourself in the process. That's what usually happens. But again, people use the military analogy and they take it as kind of gospel, and we see concepts like, dominate the market. Another misleading metaphor actually is the sports metaphor. What's wrong with the sports metaphor? Well, it seems like a good idea. Let's make business like sports. We have a game, we have a race, we have contestants. Let's see who can win the race. But fundamentally, the problem with the sports metaphor is that when you're talking about sports, there's one game, one race, and one winner, and one set of rules. Business competition isn't like that. There's lots of ways to win. There's lots of ways to compete. There's lots of ways to get to the finish line. There's not just one set of rules.